everybody. It's Sports Guy Ron here with the Week 2 picks and games in the NFL. We're going to start first with the 1 p.m. starts. In the AFC North, we have Cleveland at Baltimore. The Ravens are favored by 12 at home. I'm taking Baltimore to win. I'm taking Cleveland to cover the 12-point spread. A lot of people are going to think Baltimore's coming off of that close loss that they should have won against the Buffalo. They're going to come home and stomp the Browns. And yeah, they're talented enough to do that. However, last year, if you remember, the Ravens lost a close one to the Chiefs. Then they came home against the Raiders, which they were a big favorite in, and lost. So things are like that are possible with Baltimore, but I still expect them to win. The next game, we have Jacksonville, the Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 3.5. I'm going to take Cincinnati to win and to cover. I think Cincinnati's offense was going up against a good defense in Cleveland last week. They struggled. They always struggle with Myles Garrett in that line. Jacksonville also has a very good line. Josh Hines Allen and Tre'Davious Walker. But I think Cincinnati's at home is going to get the offense cranking up a little bit, and they're going to cover that spread. We got an NFC East matchup. The New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys favored by 5.5 points. I'm going to take Dallas to win and to cover. The Giants had one of the more underwhelming performances in Week 1. Dallas played pretty well in a loss. I think that at home they can do enough to beat the Giants. I wasn't impressed with the way Russell Wilson looked in that Brian Daboll offense. We have an NFC North matchup. The Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 5.5. I'm going to take Detroit to win and to cover the spread of 5.5. I think it's a touchdown game. I know a lot of people are on this belief that Ben Johnson knows Jared Goff and he can scheme up to slow him down, and Detroit didn't look very good against Green Bay, and Chicago played tough against Minnesota, but I think Detroit has the rest advantage. Chicago played on Monday night. I think that Detroit, even though they lost to Green Bay, I think we've seen with the way Green Bay handled Washington on Thursday night this week, that maybe it wasn't as that Detroit was bad per se, that Green Bay might be better, a little even better than expected, even though we knew they'd be better with Micah Parsons being added. So I'm going to take Detroit. I would think they're going to be able to get their run game going, work the pass off of that. They're going to be at home. I think that'll help, and they're going to win that game. Next, we have an AFC East. We got two matchups. We got New England, the Patriots at Miami. Miami, again, even though as bad as they looked last week, at home, favored by 1.5. New England didn't look great either, but I'm taking them to win and to cover. Until I see Miami look like a real football team, I don't think I can select them to win over anybody. I mean, they're having players-only meetings in the middle of the week between weeks 1 and 2. Kind of a problem. Mike McDaniel looks lost and not very interested, so we'll see. The other matchup is Buffalo, the Bills, favored by 5.5 at the New York Jets. The Jets looked really good against Pittsburgh. The offense looked like it was an improvement. The defense didn't look very good, though, although I think they should be better. But against Buffalo's offense, I'm thinking Buffalo can keep it going. Josh Allen, I think it'll, it's not going to be a blowout, but I think Buffalo can win by a touchdown. That's why I'm taking Buffalo on the road at the Jets. San Francisco's a -3. They're favored at New Orleans. Even with all the injuries San Francisco had, Purdy is definitely out. Mac Jones will be starting. We've got Kittle on IR. Jennings is questionable or might not play. There's definitely questions there. Ayuk's still not in the lineup. But I don't know. I still think New Orleans is the worst team in the league. And I'm going to not pick them until they show me a reason to pick them. Just losing by a touchdown against Arizona isn't a reason enough. I don't see anything that's making me say, even against an undermanned San Francisco, that I'm going to pick New Orleans. So I've taken San Francisco. We have Seattle, the Seahawks, coming across the country into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored by 3. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win and to cover. This one's a tough one. I think that game might actually fall on the -3 number, but I'm still going to take Pittsburgh. I think it's more likely that they win by 4 than they win by 2. So, even though that's what they won by last week. Seattle, coming across the country, a lot of times that's hard. Either way, going out west or coming over east. Pittsburgh looked pretty good, although the defense left a little to be desired. I think they can shore that up, and I think they'll do enough to win. The last 1 o'clock game is the Rams at Tennessee. The Rams are favored by 5.5. I'm taking the Rams to win and to cover. The Rams played pretty good defense last week against Houston. The Tennessee, I think, was 7 first downs they got last week. It's kind of hard to win games like that. So I'm going to take the Rams. I just think that I think there's actually a possibility they hold them in single digits. So it's hard for me to see the Rams not covering that. The next game, first 4 o'clock game, is Carolina at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 6.5. Hard one, but I'm going to take Arizona to win and to cover. 6.5 is a lot for Arizona, like I said last week against New Orleans. Carolina's given New Orleans a run for its money with that effort that they had last week, them in Miami. Until Bryce Young shows he can do it on the road consistently, it's hard for me to pick against Arizona. Arizona did have big plays, and they made plays when they needed to, so I'm going to take them. Interesting game here, Denver. They're 2.5-point favorites at Indianapolis. Wasn't many more impressive victories than what Indianapolis put on Miami last week. Dominated that game from start to finish. Denver looked, their defense looked really good against Tennessee. The offense did not look good. They turned the ball over 4 times. If they can cut those turnovers down, I think they can win by a field goal at Indianapolis. I'm taking them to win and to cover. It's not one I feel good about. But I'm going to take Denver. I'm going to side with Sean Payton, although I like Shane Steichen. In a Super Bowl rematch, we have the Philadelphia Eagles favored by 1 point at Kansas City. It's hard for me to be on anybody but Kansas City getting a point, not giving points, so I'm taking Kansas City to win and to cover. I know Kansas City lost to the Chargers last week, but I just think that they're ready for a bounce back. They're going to be back at home. That crowd, they're going to want some revenge. Philadelphia has a few injury issues. Dallas Goedert is out. So I'm going to begrudgingly take Kansas City. Hope their offense can show pretty good. I think Worthy, even though he was supposed to be out, has a chance to play. So we'll see. In the Sunday night game, we have the Atlanta Falcons at Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 4.5. I'm going to take Minnesota to win the game, but I'm going to take Atlanta with the 4.5 points. I think they're going to keep it close like they did last week. I just saw that Younghoe Koo is going to be sitting, and they're having John Parker Romo kick. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. but we'll see. But I think Atlanta's got some weapons. I thought Michael Penix looked pretty good. J.J. McCarthy also looked good. That's why I think they're going to win. But I think that Atlanta will be able to cover the 4.5 points. Okay, so Monday night there's a doubleheader. The first game is Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers at Houston. I'm going to take Houston to win and to cover and hold my nose on this one. I don't even have a really good reason why. I just think Houston's going to be at home. Their defense looked good. Their defense should be really good. I think they're going to give Tampa Bay some issues. Tampa Bay has a lot of weapons. I think this is a low-scoring game, obviously. I think this is like a under 40 game. So the 2.5's close, but I think Houston might win by a field goal. The last game of the week, the LA Chargers, they are favored by 3.5 at Las Vegas. I was pretty impressed with what Las Vegas did. I was a little worried, but it looks like Brock Bowers is going to be able to play Monday night. So I'm going to take them to cover, even though I'm going to take the Chargers to pull out a win. I think this is a field goal game or even closer, but I think the Chargers will pull it out. Justin Herbert will get it done at the end. They looked really impressive against a usually good Chiefs defense in Brazil. So we're going to see if they can cover that spread of 3.5. Okay, well, I was 7-7 against the spread last week and 10-4 on my winning predictions. I thought that 7-7 wasn't very good against the spread until I saw a lot of the experts had a very tough week. So maybe it wasn't so bad. So we'll see how this goes this week. If you like this video, give it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping now that the channel is going, we're in the regular. We'll try to get on a regular schedule of getting these videos out, and hope to see you back again. Talk to you later.